They haven't
FX on
released
Hulu.
I've seen episode 1 and 2. They haven't released 3 and 4 yet.
Oh, okay. So it's 2 out. Okay. Maybe they had 2 on. I thought it just started back this week.
Oh
So
no, I
that's
watched
cool.
episode 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
That's good
So
to
I
know.
saw episode 3 and 4 it's there. They just haven't released it on Hulu yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's probably we're behind.
Okay. That's great to know.
Yes. Yes. And that his damn daughter.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen it. I forgot he had a daughter.
Well, yeah, she getting herself into stuff. Damn kid.
Now he had a love interest in the other one, and she was in jail. But I don't know if she got out or if she's a part of this one.
No.
No.
So I'm hearing you need to. All right, y'all. What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Ms. Entertainment. I am your president of the Real Ass People Society. So, welcome to the Power Hour. We're live every Saturday at noon on Terradome Entertainment Radio, where we play the best hits from old school to new school hip hop, R&B, and more. So, go to terradomeentradio.com, click on the Listen Live button, or tune in on TuneIn or Live 365. And if you don't catch us live, you can always catch the replays on terradomeentradio.com or on all your major podcast apps. And of course, I'm not in a place alone. Let me introduce my Chief Entertainment Officer, DJ Talented.
What's going on, people? What's up? What's up? What's up? This is Saturday. It's going to be a good day. And my famous saying is, it's better to be above it than under it. You dig?
You dig. And in the studio, first time in the studio, we have author, writer for the AJC, host of Let's Start Healing podcast, Miss Adrianne Murchinson.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy you're here.
I'm happy to be here.
So let's get into it, Miss Lady.
Yes.
How long have you always wanted to be a writer?
Yes. Since I was a kid. I always wanted to be a writer. I wanted to write a book from the time I was, 9. And I actually did write a book, and I was contributing author on another book, but I wrote a book on relationships.
Talk about that one.
Yeah.
I got
so,
you.
yeah, and that helped me to actually get into media and with the AJC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you're a native of Buffalo, New York. So what was your journey to make it down here?
I came for college. I don't know if I'm going to tell you the year. Way back when.
It's okay, 'cause it makes it look better because we already know black don't crack. So you are beautiful, and it's
Oh,
like she
thank you. But way back when I came for college. And then I stayed for about 7 years and I moved to New York City for 10. And then I came back here in 99. So you could do the math.
Mhm.
But I came back in 1999, and that was really for family reasons that I came back. My mom came back with me, and she was having some health challenges. New York would have been a little tough. She was
Mhm.
living in another city. So I've been back here since then.
Okay.
I have a lot of friends from home here. So a lot of roots.
So
Yeah.
you're adopted Georgia.
Still a northerner at heart.
I ain't giving up that New York.
But I do have southern roots. My both my grandparents on both sides are from North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
So now you're the host of Let's Start Healing.
Yes.
So what made you start the podcast that's spiritually based and talking about healing? What was behind starting that?
I'm very spiritual. As long as I can remember, I've always wanted to know God more, just
Mhm.
more and more and more. And before the pandemic, I was going to a spiritual study group every Sunday for, I don't know, 12 years or more. And actually, it was in this area. And that was rooted in A Course in Miracles. It's a spiritual study that's uh, gosh, it's about how much God loves you, to put it simply, and trying to bring us back to an awareness of who we truly are. And that is a holy love child of God.
Mhm.
And so this discussion group brought together or brings together people from all different faiths. And it was so powerful when we were doing that in person to be able to listen to different people talk about their beliefs and learn from that and grow from that and share and bond. And I really wanted to bring that into another space. I started holding some of those conversations at my home before the pandemic as well. And I said, this is really what I want to do. A part of me really wants to do this professionally full time,
Mhm.
but I'm going to start with this podcast in this podcast space. So I love talking to people about God and what makes them them and how they stay connected to their higher power. And they don't have to be Christian. They can come from any background or relate to any background spiritually, as long as it's rooted in love. I want to talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you've made over 100 videos talking to people about, spirituality and, just the healing portion. And I had the honor of
Yes.
being part of you being a guest on your
Yes.
show.
Yes.
And thank you again for
Thank
allowing
you.
me to tell my
Episode
story.
107.
That's right.
I'm really honored that you were on and
It was
everything that
my
you shared.
it was an honor for me just to, be in that space, and you allow me to share my story. So thank you
Thank
again.
you.
Now, as it relates to you, what has there been a journey of healing? And meaning, what keeps you grounded?
Yes, definitely. I would say it's part of the reason I'm pausing, because it's been getting grounded in myself and then really getting grounded and healed around my relationships with men,
Mhm.
because I was in a lot of relationships where I was attracted to the same type of personality. And I was just kind of repeating the same cycle over and over again.
Mhm.
And I really wanted to work through that. I really believe in therapy and
Mhm.
for myself. And so between therapy and just my relationship with God and trying to work everything through myself through God has really helped. And then also healing has come a lot just from a lot of deaths in my family. My immediate family, I've had both of my parents and two brothers, and they're gone, and each one has just been a different experience in terms of the healing process. So it's been a few things that have been on my journey to
That
healing and being grounded.
Now I did know. I know. I read that you had lost your parents, and so my parents are gone, and pretty much all aunts, uncles
Same, yes.
on my mother's side, they're you know, I'm an elder,
Right.
which is crazy. I am an elder. Um, so I empathize and I understand.
Yeah.
You know, are you still going through the healing, or what tips or what have you done to, I guess, push through?
Well, for me, because I am so ingrained in my spirituality, it has helped me to have a spiritual relationship with my family members. My father was the first to pass, and I was 21. And that was really a great experience in terms of being connected to him for many, many, many years. And my mom, she passed in 2006. And I remember before she passed, I was sharing with her how my father had always been with me and I hope that she would be with me. And, we really talked about the relationship that we wanted to have spiritually. And it was such a big thing for me to lose my mom. I put my father on the back burner for a while and said, I'm having this conversation in my head with him. Like, I got to put you on the back burner because I need her. Like, I did not want her to leave me in spirit. And I got a lot of healing around that. I grieved her over a few years. And then I started bringing my father back in. And then one of my brothers passed, and that was truly hard. I was thinking about that on the way here. That was super hard because I didn't realize how balanced I felt in both of my brothers.
Mm-hmm.
One was emotional, one was logical.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt off balance. I felt like I didn't know who I was. And I really experienced the stages of grief with him. But I also, there's moments where I'll just feel him in my spirit. And my brother who died last year, that's been a whole different process of grieving because he was the last one. And I felt like, well, it's me and you.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just recently got to the point where I'm willing to be connected to him because I've been sort of angry in my spirit that he left me. And, but I mean, he had a family and everything. I'm just being selfish in this thought.
I mean,
But
your grief is your grief.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So
So yeah, I'm starting to feel closer to him now, and I'm just grieving him in just a completely different way than my other family members.
as I lost mine opposite way because I lost my mother when I was 18, 19. So and then my mom was everything. I didn't grow up with my father.
Yeah.
So it took me I don't even know if I'm healed, as you want to
Yes.
say. Because I got to a point where I'm not, it was just so much going on at that same time
Yeah.
when she
Yeah.
passed. And then I lost my father. It's funny with that one is we had been estranged. I moved back to Atlanta, and I'm still not connected with him. I was still honestly angry. Until a friend of mine is like, well, have you ever talked to him about why you're angry? And I was like, he had to slap me in my face. I was like, well, no, I haven't. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and then after I talked with him, and he apologized for not being there.
This is spiritually, you're saying, or
No,
in person?
in person
Okay.
before he passed.
Yeah.
And the walls, everything just
Wow.
was gone. And we actually had a few more years to, get closer. And
Mhm.
then when he found out he had cancer, he was already at stage 4. So it wasn't long before he had no transition. And it was just like, then you go back, I wish I had more time, or I wish I'd
Right.
done this. I wish I'd done this sooner. And I guess it's just that beating up on yourself, or
Yeah.
angry. Now you're angry again. Why are you, we
Right.
trying to, just get to a really good point in life. So I get it. And everybody has their journey, but I can always say, keep on your journey. And I'm definitely supporter of counseling, because it's nothing. I tell a cousin of mine, the brain is a muscle too. Now, if you can go to, somebody in the gym, a trainer and whatever, just look at it as that person is helping you build that muscle back.
That's so true. That's so true. And two things that I've experiences I had. One is I've realized that when people pass, we can have a relationship with them, and we have to be willing, because they can be right here with us in spirit. But if we're not willing to engage, then they're just here in spirit. So we have to be open to that possibility and that communication.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is, I did go through something with my dad when I mentioned that I put my father on the back burner, and then I started bringing him back in. And I started having these dreams where he would be in the dream, and in the dream, the scenario was I hadn't seen him for a long time. And when I saw him, I just was like, oh, I'm just so happy to see you. And it was like I really wanted him to stay. And he was like trying to leave. And it was almost like I'm holding on to him, like, don't go, don't go. And he's like, I really can't stay long. Like he was sort of being resistant. And that's not how he was at all. He was there in the family, and it wasn't like that at all. But every dream I would have, it was like we hadn't seen him for a long time, and he's not trying to stay long. And so finally I decided to start journaling to him. And I realized that I was angry with him for passing away. And I was 21 when he passed. And I realized that I needed to forgive him or be willing to forgive him for passing away. He had a heart attack. And, but I had to, just the journaling process of that, the dream stopped.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Isn't that something?
Yeah, that is. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't dream about my father. Every now and then I dream about my mother. And, then you wake up and like, it's almost like you just realize she passed again. So now you have to go through all that them emotions.
I agree. That's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah. And you being 18, 19 years old, because I think about what an important time that was for me when my dad passed, that being 21, you being 18, 19, that had to be so just doubly impactful. The loss of her and the time in your life when you lose her.
Oh, it was. Found out that I was pregnant after a month or two after I lost her. Then baby daddy having baby daddy issues. I was just new in the military, girl. It was just pile on pile on pile of crap. So it took me a minute to get through all that crap to see the light. It took a minute, but the key to that is don't stop, don't give up, which I did not. And I had a baby, I had a child, to make an example for,
right,
or be an example for. So I ain't had no option. I had to get it together and quickly. Okay, so switching gears a little bit. In this era of shop, TV, and radio, where everybody's looking for the latest scandal, latest tea, and blah, 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 how do you resist that noise and continue on that path of positivity and, just really reaching folks that need in that healing, or how, talking about that healing and spirituality? How do you stay true to your passion?
I just watch and listen to things that resonate for me. So I may be curious about some scandal that's going on, and I will start, I'll go to social media and get the information, and then I'll just let it go. And I do listen to a lot of podcasts. I like a lot of different kinds of podcasts. I like a lot of sports podcasts or hip hop podcasts, but I also like spiritual podcasts. So or it might be talks, that I can find on YouTube. So in my time, and if I'm in an activity, I might listen to, when I say activity, like if I'm driving or getting dressed or if I'm at the gym, I could be listening to a regular podcast, or I might listen to Abraham Hicks, who has a lot of 15, 10-minute clips that I like. So I might listen to that, or I might listen to some gospel music, or I might listen to some Wayne Dyer or Michael Bernard Beckwith. So I definitely listen to things that kind of
Keep it positive.
keep me, that speak to things that I'm interested in and curious about. I listen to a lot of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, I am a reality TV show junkie, and I do watch and listen, but I also want to keep it balanced.
Yeah.
And looking at stuff that are positive and uplifting too.
Yeah. I can't take too much negativity.
Yeah.
I really can't. Or negative energy.
Yeah.
I can't take too
that
much.
Just seeps into your psyche, and it's like, we don't have time for that. Okay, so you're the author of the book Colliding on the Road of Happiness. So now this was a book on relationships between Black men and women and the impacts on children. Now, you released this back in the day.
Back in the day.
So
it's still relevant though, but yes.
Talk about that. And have you thought about a part 2, meaning where you focus on today's relationships between women and men and the effects of those kids? Because the one back in the day, I look at as survivors through the 80s, whether they were kids of the 80s or, or just getting into the adulthood of the 80s, because that's, it kind of devastated the Black family with the crack epidemic and all that other stuff. So talk about that.
Well, I wrote the book because I interviewed a number of men and women, maybe over 50, between 50 and 60. And really, I wanted to understand men, find out, I don't feel this way, but this was the cynical part of me, find out, well, what is wrong with them, but it was very enlightening, very, very enlightening. And one thing that I believe is that the dynamics of relationships, I don't feel like they really change that much.
Really?
Yeah, between a man and a woman. Now, I know that, our roles can, evolve in society, but I just think that when it comes down to the love of two people, that love is love. I do think that. I do think that couples I think there's not as much infidelity in this generation, maybe like your generation. I can't remember exactly how old you are, but there's I think we're from two different generations.
No.
So, but I think that there is a less infidelity than when I was growing up. And, there was, I literally thought in my 20s that, cheating was just something you just accepted, because that was what I saw everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was what I saw in my family. That was what I saw in my friends' families. It was therapy that helped me to understand that that's not the case, or doesn't have to be the case, and that I can have something different. So, I think that's the difference that I see in relationships today. There's not as much infidelity, and I think that women are very much more empowered with their sexuality, especially, which I love. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely agree. People more accepting and open, and I definitely contribute that to this younger generation, because they ain't taking all that.
Exactly.
Like, you're gonna accept me for who I am. Period.
Right. And I'm not gonna be unhappy.
Right.
I'm not gonna be unhappy. I'm gonna go, get my happiness somewhere else.
They are looking at my
or
daughter,
be happy somewhere else.
Definitely looking for that work-life balance, and
yes.
It's like my happiness come first.
Yes.
Not a paycheck. My happiness come first. So I definitely commend that younger generation for pushing us old folks to the light. So what has been your best advice? What's the best advice have you received, and what's the best advice have you given about anything, about relationship, anything?
I think the best advice that I have received was from my mom, who told me, "Don't let anybody change who you are." And I had been really upset about something, and that comment, I don't know if it really even related to the thing I was upset about, but she could see that it had shook me, the thing I was upset about, and she just kept saying, "Don't let anybody change who you are." And then shortly before she died, this was a number of years before she died, but shortly before she died, I had was doing a self-evaluation for work, and I was real stressed out. It had taken me a long time to get through it, and it had a lot of typos in it, and I'm a writer,
Mm.
and I was just, like, so tired of doing this self-eval. I was just like, "I'm done. They just have to just accept it the condition that it's in." And I went in the room, she was in the bed, and I told her, I said, "That thing had a lot of typos in it." And she said, "Well, do they know you?" And I said, "Yeah, but you don't understand." And she just said, "Well, do they know you?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, then it's fine." And then I have a friend that just kept reiterating. I had shared it with a friend, and she's reiterated that to me a lot, that either people know who you are or they don't. If I make a mistake and they know me, well, then my mistake is accepted and forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not, they don't know me.
Mm.
And I can't really harp on that.
Mm-hmm.
All I can do is be in integrity and be honest.
Be you.
Right. So don't let anybody change who I am. And
that's it.
Yeah.
What advice have you given to others? Would that be the same?
Yeah, I would say, in fact, I was talking to a group of interns this week about podcasting. And at the end, I did make a comment to them about trusting that thing inside them that makes them them,
Mm.
to trust that. And that's their gift. And it's just taken me so much work to get to that point. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel that if somebody who's young can really know that and harness that, then they have so much power.
I agree. And that's what it goes back to one of the questions is like, how do you turn off that noise of, people want to like, this is hot here, but if that's not truly you, then what are you doing?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, follow you and be you. Don't let anybody change you.
Right.
So I love that. I love that. So high five to mom.
Exactly.
What you got coming up? Are you writing? You got any books coming? What you got?
Yes. Well, I have been on a little bit of a break with recording Let's Start Healing for the past month or so with the summer. So that's what I have coming is I have some episodes in the bank that I'm really excited about.
Okay.
And that's what's happening.
You gonna give us a little hint on what you got? You gonna make us wait?
Yeah, I'm gonna make you wait. I'm gonna make you wait.
So how can folks find your podcast?
It's on wherever you listen to podcasts, mostly traditional platforms. You can find it on Apple and Spotify, YouTube, iHeart. That's where you can find me. Let's Start Healing. And on social media. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. I'm loving it. I still want you to write that book part 2.
Yes. Yes.
So I think that'll be very interesting.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead on and get ready for some hot topics.
Love it.
We got to talk about Miss Carly Russell. I'm like, queen. So it's allegedly, or what the rumor is, that she made all this stuff up. And it's heartbreaking because as Black women, we don't get enough. especially when we come up missing and all that other stuff. And then if it's true that she actually made that up, I think it makes it worse on people or women that are actually in a crisis situation. So I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. But the memes have been funny as hell. The memes have been good. I saw this it was a movie premiere. It's like coming. It's called Tooken. Sorry, Miss Carly Russell. It's like, wow.
Oh my
Any
God.
thoughts about oh, this is craziness.
You know, I just think that anyone who does something like that, there's something going on. I have some empathy because there's something that is not right, for lack of a better word.
Mhm.
There's something troubling going on. No one where everything's okay, I think, is to do that. So there's just I just have some empathy. I didn't even think about what you just brought up about, other women and the credibility of other women. I didn't think about that. I've just been thinking about mm, she wasn't in her right mind.
Obviously. But yeah, just looking at the other side of, because it's that running thing that we don't get a lot of publicity when we come up missing, you know.
Right.
And
That's
then
true.
for her to come up, and it was a big push. Everybody like, let's find this girl. What's going on? And blah blah blah. You see it everywhere. Everybody's sharing, including myself. It's like, okay, another sister missing. We got to find this girl, and praying that she come. We find her and she's alive.
Right.
And whatever. And then to come to find out when they start digging that she made all this stuff up. Allegedly. Make sure we put that up there. I was like, damn, girl. Come on, Craig. You
Just
ain't got to
why?
lie.
Just why?
You ain't got to lie. What the hell? Like, but now I hope she sell her rights for a movie, because then I will watch the movie to figure out what the hell was going on for you to come up with this elaborate plan. And where were you? Where were you hiding out?
Right.
Through all this? That was crazy. I can see it being on Lifetime.
That does sound like a Lifetime movie.
That's a Lifetime
It does.
movie.
It does.
You got to find a male villain, because in Lifetime they always have to have the man.
Yeah. But I mean, it does go back to mental health.
Yes,
It does.
craziness. No comment on that, because he always talking about dumping on men.
Most of the time, it is people dumping on men. But if she did that and just randomly do something like that, then that is crazy. They got memes, like you were saying, memes about them. They got a meme with her and Jesse Smollett.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I saw that.
I haven't seen that one. Yeah, the memes has been funny as hell. All right, Carly, I hope you get it together and get the help that you need, honey. But I would say the story was good. So definitely make sure you reach out to Lifetime and somebody sell your story so you can get the help that you need. But somebody needed her creative mind. So, so what's her name? Shonda Rhimes.
Oh no, I hope she doesn't touch that.
But her creative mind to come up with that damn story, a baby out there on the highway. I was like, well, who would leave a baby out there? And I was thinking it was like a little person pretending like it, because you see some of the
Yeah.
is one of those clips where little is like he looks like a little toddler walking out in the street, and somebody start beating him up, and somebody get mad, and they're like, that's a grown man.
But they must have known pretty fast that wasn't a credible story.
I guess stuff
I mean,
wasn't
people would
adding
be
up.
calling the police, and they have cameras everywhere. I mean, I know it's the highway, but
Yeah, because a baby out there, it's like that didn't make sense to me.
right.
Because I was like, what would do it? I said that was definitely a setup, but then you don't know who you're gonna stop with a baby. And so I don't know. That was kind of crazy to me. But yeah. And of course, Florida is back in the news, which is they always in the news. So Florida approved school curriculum teaching standards, forcing teachers to teach the benefits of slavery. Basically like justifying slavery, and and what it did for black people. The great thing it done for black people. It's like, and what the hell? And I hear the vice president, she's like commenting on there. It's like, what is going on with Florida? It's all like they're trying to take the slavery out of the history or make it be a what's in that Kanye. It was a choice,
Right.
Or it wasn't all that bad,
Right.
Where you stole people from their home, forced them under fear of death or maim or whatever, rape and all that other stuff to work for free.
Right.
So what are you talking about? What benefits did we really get out of it? And they was talking about the skill. Black people brought that over here. Africans, they were skilled. They wasn't just sitting up there in the jungle waiting on food. We had those skills.
Yeah. I think when it comes to the idea of people trying to erase our history, that we give them too much power, because even if it's taken out of schools, which would be outrageous and crazy, we still have the power to educate people or keep people informed and educated.
Agreed.
And I just don't accept. I mean, there's no way that I personally accept anybody trying to erase my ancestors' history. Like, it's just not. It's not. It's a concern. I care, but it's not possible. For me, you're not going to erase my ancestors' history. You're just not. You're just not.
It's a responsibility on all of us to ensure that the history is not erased.
Exactly.
Because when you erase history, it's bound to repeat.
Right. And there's no way we should be giving them that power.
Yeah. And I don't know what is the focus on black people, because if nobody's trying to erase the Holocaust, there's nobody trying to erase what happened to the Native Americans. Nobody's trying to erase what they did to the Mexicans.
Right. In fact, I feel like there's more awareness, increasing awareness about Native Americans now, which is good.
Yeah.
So I do understand your point.
It just seems like it's a target on us. Like, well, what are you getting out of it? I mean, why? What is the big thing of making slavery not as bad as it was?
I think because we are the biggest threat. I think that there are some people in the white community who feel that they are being erased. And so, I mean,
I know what you're saying, but I'm like, how can you think that? This has always been your history.
Because we are more and more and more relevant to the mainstream. And that's a threat.
I never thought about it that way. Okay, I can see your point. But it's like, y'all.
Because they're saying the people who feel threatened feel, where do I fit in?
You always been here.
Right.
We're the one that's fighting, trying to fit.
Right.
That shit is crazy. I guess so, because, they keep saying that it's going to be people of color, come whenever, won't be any white people left. It's like, I don't see that happening, but okay.
I don't see that happening either.
Craziness. I was like, Florida, get it together.
Yeah.
And I like Florida. I was raised in Florida, but I don't know if I want to raise any. Well, raising kids are past me anyway. Mine are already gone. But I just feel for the parents that are there, all this nonsense. But it should be making the parents double down and making sure that their kids are knowledgeable of their history, like you're saying.
Yeah. I don't think it's just Florida. I mean, I think it's happening here in Georgia. I've heard comments from people, and this was a couple of years ago, that slaves didn't have it that bad. And, so it's not just Florida. It's a mindset that people want to have.
How can you figure, how in the hell can you even put that in your mind?
I know.
Slaves didn't have it that bad.
I know. I know.
Craziness. All right. So let's move on to the real ass question of the day. Now I'm gonna keep it easy on you. I'm gonna let you 'cause some guests do get it. But I'd be nice today. This one is a little funny.
Yeah, please. Go easy on me. I'm not prepared.
All right, real last question of the day. So you and your friend, y'all are chilling outside, the apartment building. Now your friend is in a wheelchair, but they could. They can't walk, but they living their best life and making the best of their life. So they're not depressed and everything. Everything is gonna be. So another person in a wheelchair rolls up, and I little say rolls up and starts swinging on your friend, right?
Yeah.
So they both throwing down in the wheelchair. Now, if your friend's starting to get the bad half of that, meaning they're getting ready, they're starting to lose, do you jump in to stop or do you jump in to make sure your friend wins?
No, I'm not gonna. Oh, come on. No, I'm trying to stop it, period. I'm trying to stop it, period. If two people in a wheelchair, one of them is my friend, are fighting, I'm trying to break it up, period.
You ain't gonna
No, nah.
make sure your friend wins. What about you, DJ Challenger?
I'm like, that they shouldn't be fighting. So just get in the middle and stop them from fighting. Nobody should be winning or losing.
Now I actually saw this on IG. It was two guys
Really?
up there in New York fighting in a wheelchair. They throwing down.
Oh my God.
And people like, what y'all doing? Then the cop roll up and put on the little hey. But yeah, they was literally fighting, both of them in a wheelchair.
That's crazy.
And I had to look. I was like, "Are you serious?" But the dude did. He rolled up and just and fired on the little dude, and they just was going at it in a wheelchair.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, "Now this is great," but nobody stopped it though.
Did they say what caused it?
No,
No.
the dude just rolled up and just fired on her, and the dude had to defend himself. So they
Yeah.
both fighting in the wheelchair. And everybody looking at him then is like, man, y'all need to cut that out. Nobody stopped it, but they did watch. And, pull out the phone.
Oh, man.
Cops didn't even get out the car. They just like, you hit the little, cut it out. Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Oh, that was an easy question.
Yes, I keep it easy for you. All right, let's move on to celebrating some Black excellence. All right, every week we recognize and celebrate the achievements and contributions African Americans have made to this country. Today we celebrate Paul Robinson, born 1898. Paul was an American bass baritone concert artist, stage and film actor, professional football player, and activist. He's best known for his performances in Emperor Jones, All God's Children Got Wings, Showboat, Othello, and much more. Between 1925 and 1961, Robinson recorded and released over 276 songs. Throughout his career, Paul was very outspoken against racism and war, so much that he ended up being put on the Hollywood blacklist. Now, this was a list where actors, screenwriters, directors, musicians, and other American entertainment professionals were barred from working by the studios. So after being put on the blacklist, his recordings and films were removed from public distribution, and he was universally condemned in the U.S. press. So, Paul, of course, suffered financially, but eventually he was allowed to go back to work and travel abroad. But Paul really never recovered fully from this, and he did end up slipping into a deep depression. And January 23rd, 1976, following complications of a stroke, Paul died in Philadelphia at the age of 77. But he is one of the pioneers for his civil rights. So today, Paul Robinson, we salute you and your contributions to making this country great. All right. So I encourage everyone to watch Scandalize My Name Stories from the Blacklist. You can catch that on Amazon Prime and on Hulu. Very interesting documentary. They really highlighted the struggles that Paul went through in that blacklist and then the different entertainers that got put on that blacklist. And that was something serious because they took away people's livelihoods. And it wasn't just black people, they put white people on there too.
Big time.
Yes. So very, very interesting. And it's just and then it goes back to so much shit that we have been through and we still, just dumping on each other. And it's like, y'all, we got to start loving each other, respecting each other, and start working together. You know, we're already getting people trying to erase our history. We gotta
Yes.
stand tall, and stand together.
So true.
Yes. So, upcoming events, Night of Expression is back on August 2nd, kicking it off at 7 p.m. I have some amazing artists, plus an open mic, and we're coming to the north side this time. So, Ground and Pound Coffee, it's a nice spot. So, don't let the coffee, part, keep you from coming because they got a full bar and food. So, but it's nice and intimate and it's really quaint. I really like that spot. So, I'm hoping that we can grow together and start making this back to getting on top of every month or whatever. So go to Eventbrite RSVP. It is free. So I'm hoping to see everybody there. So definitely reserve your seat, reserve your spot. All right. And we are at the end of our show. But before we close, we need to pay some bills. So here's a word from our sponsor, Terradome Entertainment.
Sounds good.
All right, shout out to dude over there, producer extraordinaire for some of those beats. So if you have any questions or comments, please email us at info@terradomeent.com. That's info@terradomeent.com. Any final words starting with DJ Talented?
Uh, live your life. I mean, we are a target of negativity that comes from ourselves, that comes from other races and things like that. So live your life to the fullest. Hey, tongue got stuck there. Fullest. And don't let them erase your history.
There you go. And Miss Adrianne, give you the final word.
Oh, well, thank you. To the point that you were making a couple of minutes ago about just really loving each other. There's a tagline I use in my podcast. We have more in common than we think, and what we have in common can change the world. And I know that's true.
I agree.
Thank you so much for having me.
Definitely. So we gotta have the real S quote of the day. Living your dreams is not what happens to you. It's what happens to you that makes you live your dreams. Let me say that one more time before I drop that mic. Living your dreams is not what happens to you. It's what happens to you to make you live your dreams. So join us live every Saturday at noon for the Power Hour with the Real As People Society crew here on Terradome Entertainment Radio, and catch the replays of this show and others on terradomeent.radio.com or on all your major podcast apps. And you can hit us up on IG at Power Hour _raps_crew. I am your president, Ms. Entertainment. You can contact me at MIZZ underscore entertainment underscore ATL or Power Hour underscore raps underscore crew. My chief entertainment officer.
DJ Talented _1 on Instagram.
The
What's
hell
going
wrong
on
with
today,
you?
man? It's Instagram, people. Instagram.
Miss Adrianne, how can folks follow you, contact you? How can they reach out?
You can reach me on Instagram at Let's Start Healing Podcast. You can also reach me on Instagram at Adrianne, ADRIANNE Marie 19. Adrianne Marie 19 is also where I am on Twitter. And just get in touch.
There you go. And as always, I'll leave you with this. Be kind to each other, love one another, and keep God first. Thank you for joining us. Stay safe, and we are out.